Is it supposed to rain today?
It might rain today. There's a 56% chance at 5 p.m. You can expect about 0.62 inches.
Well, I'll certainly believe that when I see it. So I had a perfectly cloudy day today, gonna do some spraying. Actually, the wind is down quite a bit, the temperatures are down quite a bit, and guess what? I guess that saying happens to be pretty true. If you don't like the weather in the Midwest, wait 5 minutes and it'll probably change. So now it is time for the verdict. And what kind of rain did we get? I didn't see any rain before I went to bed, and now I woke up one time during the night, I heard a little bit of thunder. But looking around this morning, I don't see anything major here. So let's go look at the rain gauge and see about how mad I'm about to be. That's just not gonna do it, my friends. 2/10. When it's 90, 95 every day, it's not gonna cut it. So that's seriously extremely disappointing, because yesterday there was a forecast of like 1 to 2 inches of rain, or there's a couple alerts that I got that said should be heavy rainfall and like 2 inches, and there was 100% chance almost all day yesterday. Then it went to 80, then overnight it went down, and then so annoying. There is one benefit though, just for today, and that is that it has cooled down pretty significantly. It's like in the 70s right now, and I'm loving that because I'm really not a hot weather person, and cooler weather, like 68 and sunny, is about perfect for me. We're not quite there, we're a little bit more into the 70s today, and the humidity is still here just because of the slight bit of rain, but I can take it and I'm not going to complain about 70s. Also, one other thing that I did want to mention is I know I have a lot of southern viewers that are watching this and all the time who says, Ryan, it's not that hot, it's 110 in Texas, oh, you're not even close. Okay, I'm not really talking about the heat. Yes, it's been 90 to 95 here, which is plenty warm for me. It's not as hot as the south, but we have cool season grass. So the difference is that you have a warm season lawn in the south that's able to withstand much more heat if you're getting water to it. This right here is not loving any moment of that and would prefer it to be like 65 degrees and getting adequate moisture, and things would be perfect. But just wanted to say that one time because I know I get a lot of stuff on Instagram and everywhere else that says, it's not hot there, it's not hot, I live somewhere way hotter. Okay, but you don't have cool season grass. So that's about as ranty as I'm gonna get, my friends. Well, on camera at least. One other thing too is, do any of you just every once in a while just love a cloudy day? Like sometimes you just need a cloudy day. So today is one of those days too that sometimes I just like a cloudy day. Feels a little bit refreshing here and there. Now in the middle of February, ask me again and I'm going to tell you a whole different story. So I needed to use this power scissors a few more times here to get a sense of it, get a feel of it, give you some information. So in case you didn't see the last video about this thing, this is a tool that you can add to your trimmer. So instead of using trimmer line, it actually has blades on it. And specifically for the low cut turf that I have, it's nice to be able to cut that really cleanly with blades instead of trying to rip it up with line, and it just never looks that great. It kind of shreds everything. So this tool is awesome for that, but also in general, I've been using it around the yard in different areas too, and it works perfectly fine on the taller areas. You don't have to just have low cut turf. For most of you though, if you're just used to a string trimmer and that works fine for you, that's cool too. But I just wanted to let you know too that it works on pretty much any grass type. You don't have to have the super low grass. So the next thing is, it should work for any straight shaft trimmer that is out there pretty much right now. Now they do have some recommendations on, I think 23cc or higher preferably. It will work the best with gas engines, and I don't know about all of the electric versions or battery powered versions. There's just so many of them now, but I think a lot of them that are straight shafts should work. A couple things that I found with the battery ones is that I'm using the Milwaukee system here. The only thing that I've noticed is you might go through your battery power a little bit faster. The other thing about using the battery power tool is that that tool doesn't produce any noise, which is awesome. But this scissors, you're going to hear that metal on metal quite a bit more, and I would still definitely recommend wearing some kind of ear protection, because when I first started using this the first few days, I was like, is it supposed to be loud? But then I realized I have no engine running, and yes, it is still fairly loud. That is something that I just wanted to make sure to mention. That's a couple of the things that I've noticed. But as far as cut quality goes, it's awesome to be able to trim around things and have it look just like I reel mowed right up to it, instead of having grass shredded by the actual string trimmer. So if you do want to check out this thing, I do now have it directly on my website. You can buy it straight from me if you would like to. Again, it is an investment. It's not an extremely cheap tool. One other thing to mention is I have not been doing this next to my chain link, because you've got two blades that are coming together, and I just see a scenario where you can easily probably chop into that fence. With my chain link fence, I have not been trimming around that with this thing. I've been still going just with my regular trimmer method, and this is actually something though that I don't show a whole lot on the channel and probably need to do maybe a bit more of, but I have made a video on this in the past. It's how to string trim actually around the chain link fence and try to get all those little wispy grasses that are caught up grown in between. So there's a method that I use for that. It still seems to work okay for me. You go through a little bit of string every once in a while, but if you want to check that out, I will have a link to the video here that you can check out how I do that method. Now it's been a week since I have mowed my low cut turf, which is far too long. The growth regulator that was on there kind of stopped things in its tracks. It's been so hot and everything, but 1 week is crazy talk. It's way too long. So today, let's do some mowing. A little check of the reel here, real quick. Just a little bit on this side. Just the slightest of adjustments. It's so crazy, but that's why you also get such clean, perfect cut with these reels. Alright, a couple things to notice here. So I'm not doing the edging right now, and the reason for that is that it's been so hot. You can see that my turf is not perfectly even with my driveway. Now I've had to add soil to this multiple times. It raised everything up, and also with our thaws and things that happen in winter, sometimes this will raise up. It will never be perfect. So right now I've not been doing edging, because what happens when you cut that edge right here is you really expose the soil to the heat. And this coming down all day long on the kind of heat that we're getting, I'd rather have this a little more shaded, and I'd rather not expose that soil if possible. So that's actually been working quite a bit better. I've not been noticing these edges getting as nearly as toasty as they were before. Something right now that I'm just doing, and we'll get this whole thing cleaned up here again in the fall. So the sun decided, I guess maybe it does want to come out today, a little bit, but I wanted to show you sort of the status of where we're at and talk about something for a second that I've been thinking about when I was mowing, and that it's just that I'm such a perfectionist that most of the time I don't give myself a chance to stop and look at something and actually appreciate it for what it is. So for this moment, this lawn is far from perfect. Just when I'm here every day working on this and I know the ins and outs of everything that's happened, where these spots need work, what doesn't need work, what looks good, what doesn't look good, then you're gonna nitpick everything. But what I wanted to stop and say here for a second is that at this moment, I'm pretty proud of exactly how this looks. I'm proud of myself right now because when I started this real mowing journey, many people told me that it wasn't going to work, or that it was stupid, or that nobody could do this at home and it doesn't make any sense. And also, to add to that, is that many people said you cannot grow ryegrass in the kind of climate that you have. You're gonna have so many issues, it's never going to work, don't even attempt to try it. I sort of took that though as a goal and said, okay, I really want to do this. Now, is it gonna work? I don't know. Is it going to fail? It's possible, but I'm not gonna know until I try. And that's the same thing that happens in a lot of things in life, is that you never are going to know until you try and you give it your all. You know, this is a living plant and I'm constantly learning, constantly working, constantly trying to improve my knowledge. What can I do to better things? And you're dealing with a lot of things here that are out of your control with the weather, and that it's been so extremely hot and all of that stuff. Having said all that, I just wanted to say that at this moment, I'm really proud that I've done all the work to get it to exactly where it's at, and we're just gonna keep working.
Now he's a philosophizer.
I just wanted to say those things because this channel is more than just lawns to me. It's about hard work, it's about putting your all into something, it's about goals, it's about seeing all of those things through. So that's enough of that, but let's go look at some actual issues and some things that I need to tell you about with the bluegrass. So I still have some areas going on over here on the Mazama where it still has not recovered from some of that iron damage that I had. Now that one's probably looking, it's definitely not as dark as it was early in the season. Now I'm standing right here on the blue bank. So this one, you can kind of see, it's looking a little more yellow right now. And it's definitely feeling the heat. I think, again, better in the cooler weather. Now the midnight is right here. So midnight is right in this section, kind of where you see those covers from the irrigation lines. And right now, it's looking the best out of everything. It took a long time for it to get going in the spring, but right now, it's withstanding the heat. It's still very dark green, and I'd say overall, it's probably the best looking one that I have at this moment. I think all of these other ones, once we get to cooler weather, are going to come back pretty easily and they're going to look good. Right now, if you're making a decision, I definitely would consider still putting Midnight if you're doing a mix. Still a great cultivar of Kentucky Blue. And yep, these spots of ryegrass still look much darker. Ryegrass, bluegrass. What's funny to me is actually that this ryegrass that I do have has much more of a blue-green hint to it than any of the bluegrass that I have. So maybe they just actually named it wrong. That's probably a good way that I could get some into Connor's yard. Alright, so that was a lot of fun today. You can check out those rotary scissors on my website again if you're interested in looking at those. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.